Is there really destiny? My wife has kept things from me because I get angry when there are problems for quite some time. I've also known that she wanted to try someone else for the experience, so I had become controlling, not wanting her to go to clubs etc. She has since left me and we have filed for divorce 1 month ago. We have been intimate since. Now she says she has slept with someone else but wants to come back to me and has no thoughts of anyone else anymore. Can I trust her? Is this something we needed to go through? We have been together for 16 years and have 3 children. As far as I know, she has never been with anyone else and neither have I. I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, I expected it and I also expected her to come back to me. She was honest about it, but does this seem normal, natural? She is also saying that I drove her to it. Would I be out of bounds to tell her that I expect her to take ownership of what she did rather than make it seem as if I caused her to do it? PB separated for 3 months, filed for divorce 1 month ago. This happened twice with the same guy 2 weeks ago. She had set up on a dating site right after she left me and dated several men, sleeping with one twice after 3 dates. Or so the story goes. So, I finally have the whole story from her side. We separated and 1 week later she set up on a dating site. She says she dated several men, only kissed them at the end of the dates and never saw them again. After 3 months of separation, we filed for divorce and 1 week later she became intimate with one of the men she was dating. She dated him 3 times, then had slept with him on their 4th visit and again on a 5th to make sure that it wouldn't work. She says she is very sorry and doesn't know if this is something we could ever get past. She can't get pregnant. She is going to take an STD test and I saw her dating profile before she deleted it, asking about safe bonding, which she says she had. I agree with you and think this was something that she had in her head that just wasn't in tune with reality. What if? I am assuming that she was dumped. She says they agreed that it wouldn't work. Does this part matter? Should I ask her? What has changed is that she is not as great as I made her feel in the real world. That men can be cold and that relationships are about more than bonding. That I was good to her and she can't get that from anyone else, at least with the dates she has been on and the men she has met. This is my best guess, but I am obviously seeking advice because I don't know. Another point is that I was moving 1 week after we filed and I gave her everything she wanted but asked her to promise not to date until I moved. The only thing I asked for, and I find out she was dating after she promised me she wouldn't before I moved. I guess if I knew that this was past us, I would like to be with her and my kids again. I feel hollow inside not being with them and her, like I am not doing what I should do. If she now knows now that she only wants me, I could see us having a stronger relationship after all. And that's something that someone new wouldn't have. She is coming over in a couple hours to talk. I am thinking about what to say. I wish this were easy. I wish she loved me as much as I love her. I asked her if she smoked now and she said occasionally. I asked her if she would quit for me and she got very defensive, saying that I was trying to control her and maybe this wasn't going to work. I have already changed a lot of things and committed to changing a lot of other things, but she can't alter one small aspect of her life. I can't take this anymore. She would say that I was controlling, distant, angry, and I was, that I interrogate her and don't let things go and don't give her the freedom to be her. To me this is all about lying and wanting to cheat. I want to be honest here because I want to do the right thing. I was all of those things before she seemed like she wanted someone else and maybe that's why. But she has also been lying to me since we were married 9 years ago. I talked with her for a long time yesterday. She says that she did like the guy she was with and that when they had slept together twice and it was good, but that she didn't like him as much as me because we had so many years together and she likes being around me more than anyone else. She said sincerely that it was her call to stop seeing him, but if I didn't want her, she would go back to him. She told me all the details about how she had been talking to him since our separation and went on 3 dates after we filed for divorce, then slept over and then a few days later saw him for a good time a second time. Then she said she talked to him and told him that she wasn't sure and wanted to get back with me and thus broke up with him for me. I asked her about a lot of aspects from different ways and concluded that she is most likely being truthful as her story never changed in any way. Also, something that I think wasn't made clear. I was upset with her and she with me. We fought a lot and I was also for filing the divorce even when she was having second thoughts. We filed together and I really didn't want to be married to her at that time, mostly because of the fighting, depression, and that feeling that I had that she wanted to be with someone else. If I had the chance to have a relationship and I really liked the person, I may have done the same as she did. I think we need to try with a clean slate. I am uneasy and I feel sick about it, but I do think we can work it out. We are not moving back together as we both have separate new leases in different towns. So, it can't hurt to try to work it out right. She has been more remorseful, finally breaking down when I walked to the door with my coat on and insisted that she tell me the truth. She said she had been telling the truth and I could go if I really wanted to. I was reading into her being untruthful too much. Like I said, her story has never changed. She has also agreed to make changes so that we will be better. But I don't know, time will tell. I'll keep this updated. I mean, that we both filed together and that if I met someone that I liked I would have done the same to her. I think we are in sync in that way. We both felt and most likely would have done the same given the same opportunity. I know that I am out of my mind and not thinking clearly. That's why I posted here in the first place. Your collective experiences are extremely helpful. She also suggested that if I was uncertain that I should date other people and see how I felt about her after that. Her having a physical relationship with someone after we filed for divorce doesn't seem like a good enough reason to end a 16-year relationship. I know happy couples who have been through cheating while married, and while we technically were, we both had assumed it was over. I have seen her again and talked to her. She doesn't think that what she did was wrong, that we had both decided it was over and she was moving on. She says she is trying to be honest with me and never lie again, even if a lie would make me feel better. She cried and had remorse that I am sad about it and that it hurts me. She says that I should go out with other women and that she doesn't want to deny me a greater happiness. I think that she did this after we both agreed that it was over, and while this has been a difficult decision, I think that I am going to take her back and trust her. It was very tempting to just move on, but my family needs me and she needs me. This feels like the right thing. I have read that I am not a good man if I take her back and that I don't have any balls, but I think quite the opposite. To forgive and work on my family feels like it makes me more of a man. It would be easier just to move on. While I have stated that I am going to take her back, she is making this much harder by not giving me something to forgive her for crap. She does not regret doing it. I think she will come to regret it as we go. I made too big of an issue out of her sleeping with someone she was dating when we both had decided it was over. Now she doesn't want me anymore. Well. I went over there because a text breakup just doesn't seem right, and she had already texted her ex. So those of you who said so, you were right. I am good looking and I just moved into a sweet-ass apartment with a 22-story view and attached to a YMCA. I am all set up to move on. I just thought I owed it to my family to try everything I could. I will never take her back now. Update. But as I sat there talking to her, I couldn't help but think about all the pain and hurt that she had caused me. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to believe that she truly wanted to be with me and only me. But at the same time, I couldn't ignore the fact that she had been lying to me for years and had even slept with someone else. As I thought about it, I realized that maybe this was a wake-up call for both of us. Maybe we needed to go through this to truly understand what we had and what we could lose. I also thought about the future and if I could trust her again and if we could ever get back to the way things were before. Just then, my phone rang. It was a woman I had met a few weeks ago at a breakfast place. Her name was Sarah and we had hit it off right away. She was kind, understanding, and genuine. I couldn't help but feel drawn to her, especially after all the hurt my wife had caused me. As I talked to Sarah, I realized that maybe there was a chance for a new beginning. A chance to start fresh and build a relationship with someone who was genuine and honest. I felt guilty for even considering it, but at the same time, I felt like it was something I needed to explore. So, I told my wife that I needed time to think and that I would get back to her. I then hung up the phone and took a deep breath. This was a big decision and one that I couldn't make lightly. I needed to figure out what was best for me, for my children, and for my future. My comment: take your time with this new girl, slow down, and see where all of this goes. Also, spend some quality time with your kids, and make sure you don't talk to your ex again. Story 2. The Lemon. My wife and I have been married for 12 years. The trust I had in her is gone. I am a religious man who believes in virginity till marriage, and when I met my wife she knew all about my faith. After a month of getting to know her a bit, I told her I was a virgin and wanted to marry a virgin woman. I told her there are women who I know were raped or defiled who I would marry if they kept pure till marriage. Well, she said she was a virgin and 2 years got married. She told me earlier that she broke her hymen cheerleading. Fast forward 2 kids and a happy marriage, but she was so uneasy around her friends when they visited. Then one day her best friend blurted out how wonderful it was for me to have a partner with so much experience, especially that I was a virgin. I was numb when I heard that. Now I can't even look at my wife. I don't eat her food. I'm just in limbo. Has any gotten through such? I haven't slept with her in over a month. I have my beliefs and they have helped me make decisions that were good for my health. I can't get past the imagery of her acts. I keep thinking, did she do this with them? It's so unfair because I was truthful to her and I let her make her decision of continuing our relationship then. But she never gave me the same option. Does it matter how she has been in our marriage? How am I supposed to know the core reason why she has been good to me? Maybe guilt. That she has been lying to me for 12 years. Sometimes our guilt makes us want to do great things to subdue our deceitful actions. She's slept with 8 guys. 3 of these guys are community friends, who when we go to parties, we talk to them. I feel fooled. She says it's the past, but you know what, it's my present. I can't take that she probably was comparing or even reminiscing about her physical past. Forgiving her is going to be a long process. Till then I don't want her near me for now. People say the past makes you who you are. I believe the past is there to remind us where we come from. I agree my pride is hurt. Who wouldn't be? When I held my wife so high just to find out she's just the same as the rest. I worked hard to give her a good life. My business is doing okay and she was my inspiration. My jewel. I knew many women don't wait till marriage, so I worked harder for her. Now my jewels are my 2 girls. She should have told me, and yes, I wouldn't have married her. Trust me guys, my 2 daughters are mine, I'm black and my wife is white and my babies are biracial. All her past exes were white. I have spoken to my wife, she does feel remorseful and says that she didn't mean to hurt. She says she did it out of love and not wanting to lose me. She knew I had dumped previous women because they were not virgins. The only problem I have is she doesn't regret sleeping with them guys because she says it has made her a better person. I have no idea what that means. She knows what she wants now and that she wouldn't go to another man because she knows what's out there. What if she brought some incurable disease from out there? Since she does not regret, she must be comparing me to her lovers. Why should I get a wife who was soiled for free and I provided security, food and shelter, emotional support while those guys it was just a fun thing? Well, today I asked my wife why she kept that lie from me. Answer: she was scared I'd divorce her. I also asked her why out of that 3 guys I knew none of them proposed to her. Answer: they were not financially stable. Was I? Nope, I worked hard to be where I am. I'm not free of sin, and if she didn't want to marry me because of something in my past I would understand consequences of my action. I don't want to lose my religious beliefs, but I want to cheat on her to get back at her. Some of her friends are very flirty with me, shouldn't be too hard. I knew, very unchristian, right? But like most people are saying, I should be fine after I ask her for forgiveness now. Let clarify something most people have misunderstood. She did not maintain her friendship with those men, but I stated that when we were invited to parties or community gatherings 3 of her exes would be there. She would not associate with them, but I would just small talk about football, business, etc. She didn't cheat in our 12-year marriage, at least that's what she told me. She's showing a lot of remorse for lying and deceiving. Most people don't get it. In the States, premarital bonding is glorified by the media, movies, etc. Most actresses make romantic flicks that end up in marriage, but in real life it's so easy. My wife has brought a lot of baggage in our marriage. I mean, how would you feel to know that your wife has done most intimate acts with 8 guys? I'm playing it in my mind, the images are driving me crazy. I'm stressed out and I can't sleep. I'm being very strong for my gals, trying to act normal, wondering will it get better. I will forgive her, but I'll never trust her ever. I'll sticks it out for my kids' sake. When they're old enough, I'll make another decision. My comment: would you have the same reaction as OP? Do you think this is considered cheating? Comment down, and I got another one in a few hours. Story 3. Before I start though, I want to say that I'm starting to feel like this is all my fault. I'm doing this to myself. I'm looking for both women and men to help me figure this out because I honestly feel like giving up, willing to start over with absolutely nothing. My story: I am 31, 32 in Aug, and my DH is 39, 40 in May. We have been married for 16 months, together for 3 years, and for the most part get along great. We have a lot in common and are both pretty laid back. I have a SD17 who I also get along with, but over the past few months I'm starting to not want to be around her. My problem is with everything right now: marriage, SD, myself. I feel like all of my problems, including those with my SD, are my fault. I cannot find a job where we live, and that is putting everything on hold, like having a baby, buying a house, buying a car. I pretty much gave up my business when I moved to be with my DH. We live in a small town where most of the interviews I go on I'm told I'm overqualified, or I just don't get a call, or will have to go back to school to work for the state. I'm not working, well, I am part-time and volunteering, and feel like I'm just not going to progress here, but we can't move because of my SD, my DH problem. Although I made it my business not to date a man with a child all my life, I met, feel in love, and married my husband. We all get along but one. I feel like I'm never going to have the family I always wanted, although he says he wants to. 2. I don't know if I can deal with the constant fight for his attention because SD wants to be number 1. It feels like she is in competition with me and wants to be his wife or woman of the house. 3. He wants to wait to have kids until she is almost out, and I feel like that once she goes to college he is not going to want to. 4. I hate doing family things with them because all I can think about is starting my own family. I end up feeling excluded and alone. I'm just starting to feel like I'm wanting him to live a life that he really doesn't want. We do a lot, just him and me, vacations, nights out, etc., and it seems like since SD is almost gone, he now has a life. I'm torn as to if I should wait to see if we get to start our happily ever after, or if I'm wasting my time. I did not want to start working on kids until I was 32. I have never wanted to be in an uncomfortable situation when starting my family. I want a house, baby's own room, etc. I have had 2 jobs since living here and currently working part-time, but looking for a more permanent job, which is very hard. We own a duplex which we live on one side with 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, very low bills to save money to buy a house. No credit at the moment, working on it, but we do have cash. He has a very good job, $10,000 a month. When we spoke last night, he was upset thinking that I wanted to get a divorce when all he wants is for me to have a steady job. Whether it be my business again or something else. I used to make very close to 100K before I moved here, now nothing. And that's all he talks about how I have the potential to make more than him, and at the very least he makes about $120,000 a year with bonuses. He said he hates that if I don't even want to start trying until I'm 32, 8 months from now. I'm giving up and making him feel bad when he really does want a family, and he's ready, but just wants me to also be working, even if his entry job. He did say that it will also be easier when SD is out of the house because of all she is going through, and he feels bad because of how her mom treats her. BM has another girl, and married for 9 years now, and throws it in her face a lot. I don't know if I'm just panicking and causing myself problems. I have trust issues, or what? I know what I want, and marriage is about trust, but when I watch how stressed my SD makes my DH, the guilt I see him feeling, I just feel like he is forever going to try and make her feel as if she is number one, making it hard for us to move forward. Although he is turning 40 in May, and most of his friends are too, they are just trying for babies or have really small ones. He knows that do not have kids it is a deal breaker for me, and that 32 is really when I want to start, but I just feel like I don't trust that we will. I break down a few times a year, and he says he hates when I break down because I'm not really giving us a chance to be married, be husband and wife first, and then have babies with a good history behind us. He does not want what happened with SD to happen to any other kids. It was hard for him to watch her mom treat her like crap. There is a real possibility that I will not make more than $20 bucks hour here. And as I told him yesterday, I'm just lost to why I'm waiting to find a job before having kids to just turn around to take time off to have the baby. I want to work, and I get that I can be making money leading up to the time I give birth, but I'm also doing nothing right now. I am pretty much a HW. I also feel like we are not working on being one unit but focused on each person separately. I have never been one to compare myself, life, wants, needs, to others, but when I look at his friends and family, and even co-workers, everyone seems like a family unit. They talk about their kids, baby plans, everything. Wives work part-time, and husbands are happy with that and the fact that they have their 3-kid families. My DH just puts down how they have to ask their wives for permission, or have kid duty, or stay-at-home dads, etc. It makes me feel like a family is not what he wants, or that what he has now, as pretty wife, and a kid almost out is good for him. I feel like I am just too damn nice, and that those women have their families because their husbands treat their homes like one unit. By nature, I am not a B. I do not like to nag or have someone nagging me. I don't like to cry and argue all the time, because I feel it makes me weak, but I'm just not getting him. My SD problem. My stepdaughter is in therapy because of the way her mother treats her and talks bad about her dad. I have no interaction with the BM because I told them it's not my drama to deal with, and I won't. When she comes back from her mom's, my house becomes tense. My DH wants to just do nothing because he becomes stressed, and I feel like I'm battling with other women, so I do my own thing. She is 17-year-old, and she and I are sharing a car because she gave the one her mom gave her back because she doesn't want her mom to have control over her. She and I are annoyed with each other over the car, and she feels that her dad bought the car for her in the first place. When my DH bought the car, we asked her if she was taking the one her mom gave her, and if so, I was getting that one. It did not make sense to go buy 2 cars if she was taking her mom's. She gave back the car without telling us while my DH and I was on vacation. I am nice to her because she is truly a good girl, but she has no respect. She thinks she is still the woman of the house, but I told them both that changed the minute he got married. She comes and goes from our home as she pleases but has to announce herself before going to her mom's. My husband and I have no alone time and can't plan for it because it's her house and she can do what she wants. I feel like I'm living with 2 adult people who I must clean after, when I don't feel I should be cleaning after her. I cannot use chemicals to clean, so that's her job, but she never does it. She will bath in a dirty tub. I will go to the gym, not until my DH has to really blow up, and then I feel bad because he works so hard, and she does not act like this at her mother's. She wants to know all of our business, how much money we have, make, why we go on vacation and out so much, why am I his beneficiary, etc. I feel like I can't have an adult, private conversation with my DH because she needs to know too. When it's just my DH and I, we are so happy, talking about the upcoming months, trips, and yes, sometimes planning for baby, etc. But when SD comes home, that happy feeling goes away. Then I'm back to thinking about what I'm doing here, how I'm not working, not growing, not progressing, not succeeding. I'm starting to hate myself because I feel like me not working is what's causing all of this craziness. My husband is very supportive, tries to tell me to be positive, but I just don't know how right now because he is a part of the problem as a whole. I just don't know how to handle all of this. I will be 32 this summer and I just feel like I'm never going to have the life I want for myself. I feel stuck where I live, no growth potential. My SD mom is doing great, she doesn't work. Her husband makes about $200,000 a year, but does not help with SD. We have all of the responsibility financially of SD. My husband is stressed a lot and has a heart condition that he has to monitor. Never had a problem, but we think about it more that he is turning 40. I just feel like giving up, but I really don't want to. I just feel stuck here. I love my husband. For the most part we are great. I doubt that it would be hard for me to remarry if that was to happen, but I don't have that. I'm at a hard place because my husband keeps saying that he wants more kids but would like me to be working. I have had 2 jobs since living here 2 years now, but it's retail which DH does not want me to do, or admin for mom and pops which never last. I'm fighting with myself because I am known to run away when things don't go my way from the start versus working through it. But I don't know if working through this will lead to what I want. I just got off a 2-hour call with my MIL and she cleared up a lot of things I did not know about how my DH is feeling, and that's because he sucks at communicating. But he did talk to her when we visited for Christmas. I don't just want a baby, I've had opportunities to do that. I want a family as I always have. I waited to get married to make sure I was in love and happy with my partner, and so did he. I'm just at that stage naturally. It has nothing to do with cementing my claim. He has never been married, although many women wanted him, but chose me. In my eyes I cemented my claim already. He sought out and chose me. I love me SD, and I know for a fact that she looks up to me and all that I have done in my background, but it's hard. Her bios can't stand each other and everyone knows this. She knows this. They weren't even together and he was 21. I have nothing against BM at all besides how she treats SD. I don't really know her, and I have to deal with it. My SD is hard to deal with for everyone, but according to everyone I'm doing an awesome job with her. She looks up to me, etc., but she does things to cause issues. But whatever, DH and me. One minute she is curious how he and I get along so well, perfect for each other, and the next doing things to see us fight, and when that doesn't work, she really acts out and I want nothing to do with her. DH and I barely fight, the main thing we love about each other. It is bad with her mom, and has been since birth apparently, and everyone has tried to mask it to make SD feel comfortable and normal, which is great, but because of this DH is sacred to say things in fear of making her feel unloved. SD thinks I'm going to be a great mom, tells me all the time. But then she throws random things out like how DH will be a better parent to our kids because he is older. He always wanted to be married. He was just a boy in college when he got here, and how he really didn't want her mom, and that makes everyone feel bad, mainly me. I don't like that she says this, and I just feel that DH not being a good communicator is making things hard than they need to be. I am impatient and judgmental about a lot of things, and I'm working on that. My reality is I'm not used to being dependent on someone else, trusting someone else with my life, and that's what's really causing this. I know I have to relax, I'm just used to being in control of me, and I'm not, because growing my family can only happy if my DH is willing, happy, and ready. The thing is, I am very emotional right now, but I take it out on my DH and not my SD, and I don't like that. I feel very isolated here. I have one friend and she just got married, so she is busy as a newlywed. I spend most of my time with DH and SD, or alone. I don't mind being alone because I'm learning things I didn't have time to before, like makeup, hair, spending more time taking care of body, skin, etc. But I am lonely. I have never had a lot of close girlfriends, because I worked a lot and was just focused on that. It's very hard to make friends here. Most people think I'm stuck up, and too much for this town. I don't have women to talk to about this stuff, and if I find someone, they are divorced, bitter, and just tells me it's life, or stay-at-home moms how just ask me why I would even leave the city for here. It's so bad that I'm contently told, "You're so pretty, what are you going to do here?" Or everyone my DH knows when they meet me say, "You moved here for him, that's big." Or ask how he got such a pretty wife. It's annoying. I feel like I'm not liked by most because of this. I don't get it, and I'm lonely. We have meetups and I tried a few, but not a lot going on here. Most are for stay-at-home moms, or the environment. Not much of what I'm into. I started volunteering, but even there it's what are you doing in the state? I met my DH when he was visiting my city. We started via phone and online. Then we traveled to see each other each month, for 6 months. By month 9 I moved. We got engaged and married a year later. The how did he get such a pretty wife thing is something the women ask and tell me they ask each other. It's just annoying because now I feel like I'm just looked at as the pretty ex-model from NYC. My DH tells me to stop talking so much about NYC, but that's all anyone wants to talk about when they meet or see me. He does not like the retail hours, says that it would be hard with a baby. Plus, I'm a really good cook. I make dinner every night. This was even before I met him. He likes that, and I would not be able to cook every night with a retail job. She is going to college and really wants to badly. My DH and I both did, and she looks up to that. She wants me to help her look for scholarships this week. I love her, but she hard for everyone to deal with. My mother-in-law praised me today for how well I'm dealing with her, because no one can. I love that she admires me, but it's also like she hates that I don't have problems. She will say things like not everyone is as smart as you, or not everyone is as cultured as you. It's just hard. I talked to my mother-in-law today for the very first time about my feelings, and the first thing she said to me was that she was wondering when I was going to call her. She told me that over Christmas my DH was telling her that he is trying to get us in a better place, more money, better credit, a bigger house, etc. because he wants more kids and knows that I want them. She told me that when he met me, she mentioned to him that I was younger and would want kids, and he told her that he wanted the same. But I feel like my marriage and the future of it is based off of how much money we can make and not for marriage itself, being in love, and growing our family. My comment: I reckon you are perfect to set up some sort of model school, agency. I don't know Washington, but Google tells me you are not too far from Seattle and Portland, large population centers. With a good online presence, you could even have satellite offices in those cities. You have contacts in New York. Everyone in your town knows that you're an ex-model from New York, so you have the reputation already. It's so obvious.